The enhanced awareness of refugee children, youth, and families is a holistic intervention approach to improving the mental health of refugee children and youth. The project primarily targets refugee children and youth of ages 6 to 21. In addition to providing group-based and one-on-one psychosocial education and training to the youth, the program addresses multiple risk factors through providing parental training to the refugee parents and guardians, and the making sense of trauma training to service providers, teachers, and educational practitioners.
The Enhanced Wellness Program is to help children and youth know and understand more about their brains and how their brains are connected to their feelings, their thoughts, and their behaviors. And the COS, the Circle of Security Program, is the purpose is to guide parents through a parenting program just to help them be the best parents that they can be to their children.
Enhanced Wellness is based on our trauma-informed curriculum. It's a program created for youth to learn what trauma is exactly, what trauma looks like, the impact of trauma.
So I think that participants have benefited from this project by being more aware of and understanding how their brains affect their feelings, their thoughts, their emotions, and sometimes their behaviors. So sometimes kids can hear their teachers or even their family members, their parents, sort of put all of the onus or blame on the kids for their behaviors. And I think the program has allowed participants some grace and some understanding by taking the blame, so to say, off of them for the struggles that they might be experiencing, and just giving them a new perspective into what might be causing some of the thoughts, big feelings, emotions, and behaviors that they're experiencing, and some of the hardships that come along with the settlement journey. So I think that it's just given our children and youth participants a lot of understanding and validation, and they've been able to connect maybe some of the issues that they've been having back to their brains, and having that understanding also allows them to cope with those big feelings a lot better.
Coming into a new country as a child is difficult, and there's not many places where they can process all of those emotions and big feelings that they might be experiencing. And because of all of their past experiences, it can cause them to behave in a way that they might not fully understand. And programs like this give them the chance to recognize how important their emotions are, and that feeling different feelings at different times, whatever those feelings may be, is perfectly okay and normal. Participants are able to learn how to regulate their emotions and learn how to make themselves feel better when they're ready to on their own terms. And I think this program has really just empowered our youth into knowing that they do have influence in themselves and others and in their own situation.
For many reasons, refugee children and youth are vulnerable to poor mental health, PTSD, depression, anxiety. The PSE groups under this program helps them develop their life skills in the areas of self-regulation, situation management, problem solving, pro-social behavior, and think positively about life.
Personally, I have experienced very good feedback from our clients, our participants who have been part of our program, the Enhanced Wellness Program, even from the teachers who work with these children in schools. Most of them are referred to us from schools because the teachers have been seeing some type of behavior issues with these students. So, for example, one of my students told me one day that now he knows what triggers his anger. Before, he didn't know what triggering his anger. Now he can understand that when he feels mad, he goes outside for a minute. Maybe he can walk in the hallway for 5 minutes and come back to class. So, because he learned all those things in our program. So we've also seen that parents have benefited from our Circle of Security program, which teaches them how they can help the kids feel more secure, how they can work a little bit more on the attachment with the children. So parents have shared that they've learned a lot about the kids' behavior. They've learned a lot that sometimes children may cry. It doesn't mean that they are hungry. Maybe they just need someone to be there with them. So there's so many benefits that we can share about
Throughout my time facilitating in the Enhanced Wellness Program, I have learned, or I guess been reminded of how strong and resilient and incredibly smart a lot of our children and youth participants are. I've learned to really appreciate the articulation skills of our children and youth in the way that they're comfortable doing so. So while we might be teaching them the most medically accurate anatomy, like the amygdala and stuff like that, and how certain parts of your brain are an alarm system, they have different ways of articulating those same experiences. So just appreciating each of our clients' individual abilities and individual styles of communicating, what's going on in their bodies, the feelings that they're experiencing, and the issues that they face is really important. So through my time facilitating in the Circle of Security Parenting program, we start each session with a circle story. And this is basically a story that they observed in their own personal lives over the last week since we had met previous. And they kind of go into how the last teaching about Circle of Security Parenting has helped them move through that parenting challenge. And I've learned or grown to appreciate just how open and vulnerable our parents in the parenting program are willing to be. And I'm always taken aback by how open to sharing our parents are and how honest they are during our Circle of Security Parenting programs.
I think the biggest learning for me is just how essential programs like this really are, especially when we're talking about enhanced wellness, how important that is for youth. Many youth may not know or may already know about emotions, but may not know exactly how to settle themselves, or they may have tried different settling methods before, but they are not aware just to how much different exercises there are. And youth were able to also have a voice in this program. They were able to not only learn from us as facilitators, but also learn from each other and share their own experiences and their own knowledge with the group. Youth were able to map out their own healthy responses on how they'll cope with their feelings when they're big. Youth were really open with us and vulnerable. And I think that really speaks to our groups and how important relationships are. I know for our groups, we had youth that really enjoyed the program so much that they would attend every session, despite us only being able to deliver a new session once a week. They would still attend, and they would do that because of the way our lessons are created and just how interactive and engaging those lessons are, that it was always something new and fun for them.
Children can be very, very good in handling their emotions if they are taught how to handle them. So all they need is someone to tell them how they can handle their emotions. And this program was the right program for them to learn those kind of skills. So we've had so many kids sharing their personal stories about what happened at school. I felt this way when my friend told me this, and when I just did some breathing and breathe out. I went to the washroom, I started doing some meditation, and I felt well, and then I went back to class. So what really struck me a lot was how they really understood the hand model of the brain. I really loved it. I really loved explaining it to the kids, showing them where the brainstem is using my hand, showing them where the cortex is, showing them where the amygdala is. It was just easy to do it with the hand model of the brain. So it's something that's really stayed with me forever.